Hello everyone, my name is Masterstarman and welcome back for more Let's Play Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. Last time, we finished up here pretty near on Planet Barlow, barring I think a couple of platinum bolts here. Yeah, unfortunately we'll be coming back for those at a later point, but yeah, we did a bunch of races, had a really bad case of road rage, except that this is also part of the post-commentary quintology, so yes. We're going to be continuing on here. So, we learned of a new objective here. We're going to be heading to the Thug Rendezvous in the Feltzen system, which is where we're heading off to right now. This is the second spaceship type mission, and the first proper one besides the one just before the Magtar Resort.
We are under attack. Can't outrun them. Let's hope these weapons work.
Yep. Only this time we actually have challenges. Remember when I said that there'd be stuff that was way better for getting bolts than that stupid race last video? I wasn't kidding. These missions are nowhere near as difficult, nowhere near as stressful, and you'll be getting more bolts from this than you will that expert race. Not this mission in particular, but like the collective bunch of missions that you'll do here, you'll easily get more bolts than the last mission gave you. Maybe not as, maybe like on par with, but because there's actually only 4 missions here as opposed to 5, but these missions are not that hard at all. Yeah, I actually did die in this first mission though. This first mission is a tiny bit, like, these missions can be a little bit boring, honestly, if I maybe make one minor criticism. Because you are just kind of circling around and almost just waiting for stuff to kind of go in your reticle of fire here. But a lot of the other enemies just often kind of fly into you, which makes the second and third missions a little bit easier. And then the fourth mission is kind of its own unique thing that we'll get into. That's typically how a lot of these missions go. There are actually quite a few of these, like, spaceship missions, which I don't mind in a sense. They're actually kind of an interesting, like, twist on the idea, and definitely way more expanded upon than the one time we used the ship in the first Ratchet and Clank, so overall, I'm fine with these. I don't think they're that taxing. They're pretty self-explanatory. They can be fun to traverse through, and you know, I don't think they're giving Star Fox a run for their money anytime soon, but if there's, like, I don't mind the full 360-degree, like, full, like, control that you got here. In fact, I probably just haven't played a whole lot of games like this, but the only other game I can think of that let you do something like this was Halo Reach, so I'm fine with these for the most part. It may not make for the most interesting of commentary in the world, but overall, I don't mind these missions at all. You can also get rare titanium in these as well, which is very, very nice. You'll want to get that for, not right yet. I thought we honestly had this option from the start, but coming up in a little bit, I think by the end of the next video, I believe, we'll have access to being able to upgrade our ship. So yeah, that's definitely something you're going to want to continue, like, pay attention to with rare titanium. That's kind of what that's going to be used for. But yeah, so we have our second wave and randomly run into an asteroid and have to restart the entire mission. Cutting? Yeah, that was definitely an embarrassing moment, and I don't know how the heck that happened, but yeah, so unlike the races, though, I don't mind showing all these on screen, even if this is a little bit boring. The thing is with this compared to the races, the other missions aren't nearly as lengthy, or I don't want to say not the same thing, because objectively they are, but they're not, like I said, they don't take as long to just kind of go through. A lot of the enemies you shoot actually feel like they just run into your shots a lot of the time, or they just try and target you more often, so I don't really mind showing the full length of these on this video here for the entirety of this. It could be a lot worse, really, is all I'm getting at. So yeah, you can sometimes also just get shield, like, drops from this, which is always very nice, and yeah. to immediately date this video, I'm actually recording this, like, the night before,
Oh, yeah! I've got mad skills. Mad yeah. A difficult challenge, but one that a trained commando... Hold on. I'm intercepting a transmission.
For the 5th time, I have a collect call to Thugs for Less from a Mr. You Are Gonna Die. Will you accept the charges?
You are gonna die.
I'll take that as a yes. Thank you.
You idiot.
Uh-oh.
I'm paying top dollar for your protection, and your moron employees are off at some picnic.
Hey, that was a bonding exercise.
Enough! I'm at the pickup point now. If your men aren't here pronto, you can kiss this contract goodbye.
Well, you can kiss your, you know what I mean. Dang it.
Did you trace that? Coordinates locked in. We are headed there now.
alright. Except that we're not going to Planet No-Tac right now, because we still have more missions we can do in this place. Destroy 30 Space Wasps in 2 minutes. I kind of go in the map here, because again, I thought we had the upgrade spot open up at this point, but no, it's actually... We get the coordinates for that on Planet No-Tac, so it's just a little bit later than I thought it was. Anyways, Challenge 2. If I eventually get to it, yeah. As you see, our reward was something like 5,500 bolts there. That's almost as much as the expert course was. And this takes under 2 minutes to do. This is not a hard mission at all. Like, I don't get why they jib you so hard with that expert race. They make it way harder than it should be. And they give you better rewards for this. I would rather do this a few times than do that freaking race once. It's... like, this is nowhere near as difficult as one might think it might be. So... yeah. It's also not a half-bad mission for getting Raretanium, just because you can get drops from these things quite a fair bit. And the mission itself, you know, you're killing 30 enemies in the span of 2 minutes, so not to say every one of them will drop Raretanium, but you can get a lot just from this mission alone, so yeah. And the time limit's really overly generous as well. As you see, we're like 45 seconds left, but we only have 3 here. 2 of them are flying right into this. Very easy mission overall. It's not anywhere near taxing for this one. So, that guy's dead. And that's it. We get almost as much for the last thing. And this one, only the Thug's best pilots remain. This gives us more bolts than the stupid expert race. I'm not gonna shut up about that. I don't know why the expert race is just not worth it. We do get another trophy there for, presumably, I think that's for getting a lot of, somewhere near a lot of bolts, but yeah. Anyways. Yeah, these expert pilots, they definitely have a little bit of health to them, but they're not that bad either. I mean, they'll be shooting you a lot, but they're nowhere, like, their aggressiveness doesn't really translate to damage very much, and in fact, like, I find it just makes them really open to being shot at a lot, so I don't mind this either at the same time. I really don't. So there's only a few of these guys left. We can get more Raretanium. 3 left, and they're pretty much all flying right into me. Only 2 left. Only 1 left. And there he is. And we kind of just keep away for a few minutes, and then he kind of just walks right into my blast. Easy mission. The last one is probably the most unique here, because we're playing Race through the asteroids. Ace Bunyan, one of the galaxy's premier space races, has challenged you to a race through the asteroid field. Really nice prize. This... I immediately go to restart here. This mission is actually very interesting because the fourth mission of all these space, these space levels, the fourth mission will always be a race through with Ace Bunyan here, and all of them have the same race through rings Superman 64 style, and there is one platinum bolt in all of these levels that is gotten the same way, and that's for clearing all of these missions without missing a single ring. So yeah, if you want the platinum bolt, you need to win this race and go through all of these rings. Honestly, it's nowhere near as bad as one might think. Some of the later ones can be a little bit challenging, but this one is not near as bad as one might think it is. Down there also, I want to definitely point that out. That is a nanotech upgrade. Think of that like a piece of heart or a heart container from Legend of Zelda, because it's functionally the exact same thing. You grab it and it'll be an increase to your life. Yeah, in order to get your life to max, not only do you have to just get it through killing a bunch of enemies, but you also have to grab a certain number of those nanotech upgrades as well. Think of it almost kind of like Okami in a sense. I'm not just thinking that just because I've been playing Okami recently, but like, that game has, your health can increase with sun fragments, but there's only 15 of those in the entire game, and the rest of your health is expanded through just collecting other, like, just upgrades. It's kind of the same logic here, so I'm just re-entering this here. I got the Platinum Bolt. I want to say on my first try, technically I restarted, but more or less my first try here. I'm just heading back in here because I'm going after that one nanotech upgrade. I don't need to bother with the rings here or anything like that, so yeah, if you just head back this way, our maximum nanotech upgrade increased.
Nanotech boost. Nanotech boosts instantly increase your maximum nanotech capacity.
Very, very nice upgrade to get. And the game doesn't really make good note of those a lot of the time, I find, but definitely a very nice upgrade to get. Anyways, that's actually pretty much it for the Filmy system. We're now heading off to Planet Notak.
So, how's the reception out here?
We have sports, weather, ooh, the Science Channel.
Keep going. Whoa, what's that?
The man, the myth, the legend, the loser. Captain Quark, once the idol of everyone in the galaxy, has finally hit rock bottom. After his humiliation at the hands of Ratchet and Clank, Quark sold bogus merchandise he claimed were Gadgetron products. But a key defect in this product, the Personal Hygienator, caused severe irritation in sensitive body areas and alerted authorities to Quark's scam. Behind the Hero will return after these messages.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yes, I suppose it...
All this time, my Personal Hygienator must have been causing that itch.
Anyway, we should be at our destination shortly.
God bless these load screens.
Too late again.
We always seem to be a bit late. Why is that?
Well, let's check this place out and find out where he's headed.
Alright, we will do that. So, I actually brought this up in the original recording for this as well, but I feel like in post-commentary I can probably better express my opinions on this one. I've said many times before, almost to the point of being a running joke, this game is better than the first one in almost every single way, but there is one small thing, actually one big thing in the end that I do still like better about the first Ratchet and Clank, but they really play more of the comedy aspect in Ratchet and Clank 2, and I want to say for the record, I think it works. Ratchet and Clank 2 is a very funny game, and I really like that aspect about this game. I gotta say, though, in terms of a more storytelling perspective, I do think the first game still has a better narrative. That's a subjective thing, I realize. The first one goes for a much more serious tone. And this game is a sequel, so it doesn't really need to establish the characters as much as the first one did. And that's the way a sequel should be. I'm perfectly well aware of that. The first one kind of had Ratchet, like, sort of become a bit of a douche before realizing, like, about 2/3 of the way through the game he was being a really big selfish douche, and then him changing for the better. And this game just... I don't want to say it throws away every ounce of seriousness, but it's way less serious and plays up way more of like an action comedy. And for the record, I do think that generally fits the vibe of the series better, but it is something that I've definitely been waiting to talk about. And I think I've talked about this a little bit already, but yeah, it's something that I feel like is definitely something worth noting, especially in regards to comparing this game to its predecessor. I still, again, in almost every other single way, especially from a gameplay perspective, which is probably the most important thing, think this game is a definitive improvement in almost every single way. Like, just even from controls being less slippery and, like, actually having walk-on and strafing abilities, the weapons are just infinitely better, and they play off that joke that Gadgetron isn't really a very good vendor in this game. Just things like that. And there's actually a skill point in this area, too, you get for destroying all these obstacles in this area. So, I do get that, but I do kind of stumble here a little bit, which I think is kind of what's giving me some time to think here. Yeah, it's just something that I've been, like, kind of wanting to talk about for a little bit of time now, because, and I feel like this is kind of the part where we're at a far enough point in the game where I can talk about it now, because we've seen, like, bits of these characters, and the story still has a lot of time to develop at this point. We're still pretty early on. I'd say we're maybe a quarter of the way through the game, but I'm not really sure in terms of video numbers how much that'll mean anything. We might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less than that. But, yeah. So, it is just something I've been kind of wanting to bring to the attention for a little bit now, because it's something that, I think it's something that does deserve to be mentioned about this game, that I like this game a lot, but it doesn't really, I don't feel this game ever really takes itself too super seriously. And that's the skill point there, I think? Yes. Very, very, very nice. Unfortunately, I wasted a lot of my blitzgun ammo here, but I don't think it really matters off the whole heck of a lot here. I do sometimes, like, try and focus on mostly using guns that still need to be upgraded, rather than, you know, I could be using my mini nukes or whatever, but I'm just focusing on, like, blitz gun and mini turret gloves kind of for now. I don't think I really tend to use the, what's it called, the gun I was just using a minute ago. And I think as of right now, that and, like, one other thing. Oh, also, there is a platinum bolt over this way. I did remember that was here. This way actually does... This way is, like, kind of almost entirely an optional collectible path in a weird sense. There's a platinum bolt, a skill point, and a nanotech upgrade on this path, but almost nothing else. Like, nothing plot relevant or, like, any sort of progression-related reasons. It's pretty much just for optional stuff, which I don't mind, but... Hello, Blitz Cannon. It is just something that... You don't really even see a whole lot in this game, like, really, really blatantly, like... Most times if there's an optional path, it's like maybe a grind rail that lasts a little bit, but this is like a full path that just has optional collectible stuff on it and not... Yeah. But at the very least, it does give me something good to just kind of go through at the end of the video through, so yeah. And I don't think there's anything you can really do with this rocket here. Like, I shoot a bunch of random weapons at it, but it doesn't really do much of anything, so yeah. And I also sometimes tend to get lost here and forget where the heck I'm supposed to be going. It's a little bit of a weird thing, but as weird as it is, I never really found this path was that straightforward, and I don't know why. It's not as bad as I make it out to be. It's just this elevator over here, but yeah. We're actually coming up pretty close on the end of the video, surprisingly. There's not actually a whole lot left that we go through, in fact. Yeah, I'd say we got maybe 2 minutes left of the video here. Or actually even less, I think we only got about 1 minute left of the video here, so yeah, we're coming up pretty close on the end of this here. I think just at the end of this path, just after this one guy here, I think we have a nanotech upgrade, and that's basically the rest of this path. Seeker gun, I think that's the name of the gun that I was using here. I don't really use the Seeker gun a whole lot. It's not bad, but I think it's just kind of average. It's nice when it's fully upgraded, but yeah. We also get a continue point here, and I can't really figure out why, if I may be honest. This path doesn't really lead anywhere, and this just takes you back to the ship. So that's gonna do it for this episode of Ratchet and Clank 2. Next time, we're gonna be continuing on through Planet Notak and actually probably start exploring this place. I'll see you guys for that, then, on the next part of the post-commentary quintology. I'll see you guys for that then. Peace out.